All right, cool. Now, I did kind of give like a little short review when the event first came out for the Dream Bubble, and now that I've completed 100%, I got everything, including the challenge stages. I was able to complete the whole thing. I'm gonna give you my overall thoughts on the event and, of course, the characters themselves and the story. Now, when it comes to Path to Nowhere, the story is number one. I think that they did a phenomenal job writing the story and, of course, voicing the characters. This is one of those games that I feel like the story takes front stage in everything. Some other games they want to focus on gameplay. Some other games want to focus more on graphics. I feel like Path to Nowhere kind of grabs everything from character designs, from the voice acting, the story. They kind of accumulate that into one area, and they actually succeed pretty well. It's one of its biggest strong points. The characters, they're very likable, and the story is phenomenal. Now, when it comes to the voice acting, again, like I said, like for this event, they released Mess and Serpent. I liked Mess's voice acting right away. I thought it was cool. When it came to Serpent, I was like, I didn't have her at first, but from the trailers and etc., you would hear her voice, and it doesn't fit the character. And then I finally got her, and then like I went through the story, etc., and it was done well. I just hope that they don't overuse that kind of gimmick, because Lubia Ray has that where she has like a multiple personality, so her voice is different depending on who's there. Is it Lubia or Ray? And then the same thing with Serpent, where she has a kind of like I guess I would say like a more cheerful voice, and then she has a more serious voice or tone. I guess not voice, but like a tone. Like a more serious tone. Um, I'm not saying that the voice is bad for Serpent. I just wish that they just chose one tone. I think that the more serious tone Serpent is a lot better, in my honest opinion. It still sounds great, but I just kind of wish that they didn't do that, and I hope that they don't do that again in the future. And when it comes to the event overall, when it comes to the rewards, of course, and of course going through the event itself, I did praise it, and I still think it's pretty good. I just hope in the future that when they provide content that kind of has you be a detective detective, and going through the kind of like the evidence and trying to put things together. I kind of hope it's a little bit more elaborate in the future. I did like this. It's kind of like a nice little start in the right direction. And of course, when it comes to the overall challenges of the story itself, I felt like the story unfolded very well. At first, I didn't really care about the ambrosia, and then it kind of piqued my interest and kind of went through the story. The voice that they did for Doyle was very good. Again, I already mentioned Mess and Serpent. I think they did very well as well. When it comes to costumes, I'm not big on costumes. They did release two costumes for this event, one for Rebecca and one for Irene. Uh, Both costumes look really good, but it's just never been my focus when playing any game. So I will praise the costumes. They look very, very cool, very nice. But it's never been my, when like if a costume's released, like it doesn't do anything for my account basically, and that's how I always kind of look at it. It's like it doesn't do anything for my account. It doesn't. I mean, it's nice effects and whatnot, but whatever. The challenge stages, they were a little bit difficult, but I was able to get through them. Especially the last one was a little bit of a challenge until I kind of understood how you're supposed to do it. Then it got easy, so it's not bad. Now, when it comes to this game, I do praise the story and I do praise the characters a lot. I actually praise how the characters are presented a lot, and it's one of the things I wish that a lot more players knew about this game. Uh, the only downside currently, and still its biggest downside, is just the lack of content. I feel like they're moving in the right direction. Unfortunately, when it comes to the events, they're very short. They don't provide that many challenges. There's only like 3 or 4 challenge stages, and then that was it. Once you're done, you're done, and then we have to wait until the next event. Do I like the pace of the in-between events? Yeah, I think it's okay. It gives you enough time to get the character that's currently up in the banners, and it gives you an opportunity to build characters that either are released or you're currently having backlog that you need to release. I mean, that you need to build. and kind of like formulate strategies and where to go in the future. But again, I think the only downfall, or like not downfall, but the biggest con currently that's still plaguing Path to Nowhere, it's just the lack of content. The characters are great, they're awesome. I wasn't even planning on picking up Serpent at all, and then I just like, okay, I'm gonna pick her up. But when it comes to my overall account, as you can see, I've been phase 3 characters. That's been my main focus. I just phase 3 Irene. And again, my main focus right now is just to phase 3 more characters. Because I'm going to skip the next character banners. Because I saw the characters and it's not my thing. It's not my thing at all. This is why I'm going to skip them. But my main focus is going to get Mess, Serpent, and Demon up. And then I'm going to stop building characters. Instead, I'm gonna try to focus on leveling up their skills and getting their official crime brands leveled up sufficiently to where I feel confident, and then I'll start building characters again. Wendy's my favorite character, and I still haven't fully built her yet. And then I got Picasso, Ariel, Demolia. I think I can skip Demolia. Demon's been treating me very, very well. Stargazer. I don't want to get too many characters going. But as for the next event, I'm going to be focusing on just finishing these 3 characters and then leveling up their skills and crime brands, and hopefully I can get the ones necessary. When it comes to creating content for Path to Nowhere, it's kind of difficult to create content for this game, honestly, because again, it lacks a lot of content, and a lot of the content that you could make content on has already been made. So again, I don't want to just make the obvious. I think there was a guide I did for like the EXP stages and the disc coins. That one was a funny one because I actually made those. That guide, I actually made 2 guides in a row, but I released one and I kind of kept one on hold and release it later. But then I completely forgot about releasing it. It's like, oh, this is kind of pointless now, isn't it? But but when it comes to just general content, it's kind of difficult to make content for this game, honestly. And unless they start releasing more and more content and where it's, beneficial to release a lot, unless you guys want something very specific. In that case, you can always ask in the description, hey, can you make a guide on this, or can you make an explanation on this, etc. I'd be more than happy to do that. But when it comes to other content creators making content for Path to Nowhere, some of it is just like, oh, let's look at the story. Which again, the story is phenomenal. I think the story is great. But some content is like, oh, let's watch the interrogations, or let's watch the Mirage. It's like, it's stuff you can do on your own, and it's something that I actually recommend you guys doing. If you guys are really into Path to Nowhere, check out the story. It's actually, when it comes to gacha games, it's probably top tier when it comes to the story. That's one of the things that a viewer once told me, because I complained about there not being voice acting lines on everything, especially like on the interrogations, especially for the new characters that just came out, Serpent and Mess. They don't have voice dialogue when it comes to their interrogation. And I was very disappointed. It's like, why again? Like, even Irene's didn't have one. Demons did. That was cool. The Demon one, the Wendy one's nice. See, Mess and Serpent. Serpent did have it, but it wasn't very prominent. It wasn't like, it wasn't voiced all the time. It was very well voiced. That's why I was like, she's got 2 tones when it comes to her voice. Like a really happy, cheerful one, and then a serious one. But see, Mess didn't have one, and neither did Stargazer. It's like, and I understand. Again, that the viewer that said, hey, they just want to focus on the story. And I agree with that. Yeah, focus on the story. Get the story right, because that's its strongest points. The story's great. But, do invest a little bit into the voice acting, It's another of its great strong points. I guess you could say like this video kind of turned into me praising the event, which was very, very well made, and to me praising just the game in general. Again, the game does need a little bit more exposure, but it's kind of hard to do the same thing for the same reason that I said that it's hard to make content for this game, is that it kind of lacks it in that department. It only has the broken front line as sad content, and then it's got the pit, which is pretty boring now. I mean, if they release more content based on the pit, I mean, that'd be great. They did release like the EX stages for the main story, which I think is cool, but you need very specific characters to clear it. I was able to clear it up to chapter 2, and I had to stop because and that's why I built Irene, because I need another magic hero to help me out here. Maybe even Serpent later in the future to build her. I know that they have guild content coming out pretty soon, but that's not slated about the actual release. But it does need more than just, oh, here's guild content, and it does need a little bit more. In order for this game to get the recognition it deserves, it needs more of a draw-in for players, that's for sure. I'm gonna stick with playing Path to Nowhere for sure, especially on the long run, especially if they can keep it up. I'll definitely keep playing this. I think this is a great game. It's I keep saying this, a game that deserves more recognition, but it needs more content in order to make that happen. Overall, again, if you guys have any content you guys want me to cover, or maybe you guys are looking to play Path to Nowhere and just don't know if you should start now, or you don't know how to start, you can ask those questions down in the comment section below. I can make a quick video, a quick guide on how to start Path to Nowhere, especially when it comes to characters. I did make a video where I said I screwed up big time, because I built a lot of characters I shouldn't have, and I still do it. I still build S rank characters, even though they take forever to build. But if you guys want a kind of if you guys want an easier time, just build characters. I always say that. Just ask me those questions. If you guys already know what you guys are doing when it comes to that aspect, you guys can definitely just go from there. Or maybe you guys have questions on something else. Again, I did say I kind of sneak peeked into the next event, which again, it's not stated. This event's still going on, so I'm not even asking questions. But I did check out the new characters, and they weren't my thing. So I'm gonna save cubes until the banner after that, where the two characters that they announced for the banner after, not this one, but the one after that one, are the ones I'm gonna save cubes for those two characters because they look cool. The upcoming event, I'm not really excited for it. Again, I will be excited for the story, and I'll be excited for the goodies for completing the event, etc. But just not the characters. Maybe the characters will be interesting, but they're just not well designed in my honest opinion. But that's just my opinion, of course. When it comes to everything else, again, you guys can ask those questions down in the comment section below. Again, when it comes to content in this game, it's very hard. I keep saying that. And I'm gonna keep saying it so that maybe one day the guys that develop Path to Nowhere can watch this video and come to the realization that you need more content if you want more exposure. The game is great. I know that the players who are currently playing Path to Nowhere love it. I love it. It's a great game. But if you want it to become a big game, you need to have more content to kind of not only draw players in, but to keep them here, basically. That's it for my overall ramblings about the event. Again, good job on the event. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I wish more lines were voiced. Can't have everything. Costumes are great. I'm not gonna get them. They're not my thing, but they're great. If you guys do spend money and you guys want to get the costumes, go ham on that one. Overall, that's it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section below, and that should be it. I really hope you like this video. If you do, please like and share. If you like a lot, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.